Thanks for checking out episode 3 of my Bumblebee restoration series, where we'll take my 1974 LE from roller to the road. While the car is at the body shop, I'm getting a head start on refurbishing the dash. I've cleaned off the old foam and shot it with some primer and some satin black paint. More detail to come on that in a later episode. So I tore the engine down to its component parts. Here's the crankshaft and here's the cam. We'll take the cam out first. And now we'll lift the crank out. I'll be building this engine up from scratch, and that will be a first for me. I've done top ends before, but I've never done a total rebuild, so I hope you'll subscribe and follow my progress and cross your fingers that I don't spin a bearing the first startup. I'm also prepping the engine case for shipment to HAM, Hoffman Automotive Machine. When I inspected the engine, I noticed that the head wasn't sitting flush against the cylinders. Holding a straight edge across them, I could see a little bit of daylight, and it seems like the number 4 cylinder register has dropped a bit from nearly 50 years of use, which is super common on these, so I have to have the case decked by a pro. It needs to be straight across this way so the register mating faces are perfectly parallel to the crankshaft. That way the head will be even and seal properly against the cylinders. They're going to mill off a little bit from both sides of the case to keep everything nice and square. We'll go into every little detail in the engine build episode. HAM is building my head, so I figured I'd send them the case as well. And I removed all the head bolts so HAM can rig this case to their machine. They're going to shave about 20 thousandths of material off, which will get everything square again. Fortunately, it seems all the journals are still within spec, and it doesn't look like I'll need to have this align board. If your case needs decking, make sure you send it to a place that's really familiar with VW engines and this type of work. It's super critical business. The cylinders must be exactly the same height for the head to seal up properly. If there's an offset, you'll have little to no compression and the engine won't run, or won't run well at least. The bodywork and paint on the car is happening in the Bronx, and today I went down there to visit the car, and of course it needs to take a few steps backward to go forward. It's been here since before we went into coronavirus lockdown, but things are moving along well now. We're taking the old paint off to get the panels straight, a new trunk pan was welded in, and we've got a few other body tweaks to do. The shop I'm using also has a frame analyzer and straightener, and they're going to put the Bumblebee on it to verify that everything is square before it goes into paint, which is awesome. Meantime, I've arranged all the parts in these Home Depot bins. It's very cool that they're also the right color for this build. Got all of my engine stuff, and then interior, and here's the electrical. Oh, that'll be fun. Things should start to move at a good pace now. Next up, I'll be restoring the dash. Please subscribe to follow the project, and it would be awesome if you would check out my Patreon page. There's a link below. Become a patron to join live Zoom calls and get free swag. Thanks a lot for watching. Be safe and enjoy the addiction.